Have the Savannah Bananas in 2025 equaled the popularity of the height of the Harlem Globetrotters yet?
Okay. Well, hold on.
They're selling out stadiums.
I was going to say, they just recently sold out another stadium. It was Fenway for a minute, right? Now it's something else. Something in the news recently about, can you believe they sold out something else? What they've done is insane. Their popularity, again, just grew, exploded through social media. It got to the point where you were seeing these things, and you're like, what is going on? And then now your wife and girlfriend are like, I love the Savannah Bananas. Everybody wants to see them. They are the modern-day Globetrotters, no doubt. Are they as popular? I don't know about that yet.
I'm saying the way
when I see them at Gilligan's Island, then I'll say yeah.
I'm saying when you would see Curly Neal putting the ball behind his back or throwing confetti out of a bucket, are we glamorizing that? Are the Savannah Bananas coming up to the plate with a bat on fire, flipping before catching a fly ball? Are they doing as much or more than the Globetrotters ever did?
Involvement, I don't know, but I don't want to downplay how great the Globetrotters were either. I never got a chance to see them, but I did get – look, we grew up working in radio, right?
Yeah.
And one time I had, like, giveaways to see the Harlem Globetrotters, and I was like, I gave them to my family, and they went. I was supposed to give them to listeners or whatever. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Hey, Mom and Dad, you listen? Here you go.
Here you go. My parents listen. Take the kids. I had little siblings. They all went. They still talk about like what an amazing time they had at the Garden, and of course the Globetrotters only lost like one game ever, right, to the Generals or whatever.
Is that's the rumor, right? Like they lost once.
Yeah, I think they've lost one time, but I don't want to downplay how big and great they were with fan involvement and pop culture, and how everybody for decades always debated could they beat or compete with an NBA team. I don't know if anyone's really saying that about the Savannah Bananas at this point, but as far as entertainment and as far as where they are now, they are easily the modern-day Globetrotters. More popular now than the Globetrotters, without a doubt. And we've hung out with the Globetrotters in recent history in the past 5 years or so.
When we were at
They're
ESPN,
still doing it, yeah.
When we were at ESPN, we did a bit with the Harlem Globetrotters where they taught us how to do some moves. And you can probably find the video if you search hard enough on social media, but we got to hang with the modern-day current Globetrotters.
Yeah, and it's still an honor. It's still difficult to make that squad. They added the first female to the squad in recent history, so there's still a market for the Globetrotters, but the Savannah Bananas definitely have taken it next level.
I got to ask a question. Danny G, I was Sam, Dan Byer, in your mind, have the Savannah Bananas leapfrogged the Harlem Globetrotters as the number one sports show as far as like a game of that's a show of sorts, a gimmick, a novelty?
No, I think have to be a prisoner of the moment to do it.
Yeah,
the Globetrotters history is
still,
yeah, worldwide.
Could the Globetrotters sell out a NFL stadium right now, though?
I just feel like, I don't want to live in the moment. I know that's a thing we do a lot in the world of sports. Like we'll see someone, have an amazing performance and be like, greatest ever.
Yeah, but DB also said something. I'm glad, Dan, because I would have forgot. Honestly, it was on the tip of my tongue before. Worldwide, I think that is the difference. And I think that the Globetrotters were around in a time where they were a traveling spectacle, and people loved them worldwide. Pop culture relevance to the point where you said they were on Gilligan's Island,
and Scooby-Doo.
And Scooby-Doo. And everybody tried to spin that ball. NBA players tried to do that because they saw the Globetrotters do it. We all did. We did that whistle because the Globetrotters did. So like I said before, I don't want to downplay their importance by lifting the Savannah Bananas past them, but they are the current day team, and they've got that momentum, no doubt.
When you guys interviewed them, Rich, did they teach you how to spin the ball in your big head?
They did. You know what? Covino
they actually spun Rich's head.
Believe it or not, Covino has a skill of spinning a basketball. I just remember hanging out with the Globetrotters and thinking like, this is a Globetrotters. It is a big deal.
It is a big deal, and they have legacy.
Yeah.
And I agree with DB in the sense that I don't think the Savannah Bananas are worldwide recognizable yet, where the Globetrotters were.
If I asked you,
here in America and right now, man, they are killing it, and good for them. It's a lot of fun for the family, and they've done a great job marketing themselves on social media. It's incredible.
Ask yourself this: if we were doing a contest here on Fox Sports Radio, or forget that, even the workers here, if you found out, we got some tickets to give away, do you think the demand on the phone lines, if we said, hey, we're going to play a game and we're giving away if the prize was Globetrotter tickets at Crypto or the Savannah Bananas are playing at Dodger Stadium, what do you think would be like, oh, man, I got to go?
Again, it's like comparing an old act versus a new act. The new act's is gonna be more popular at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, who do you love? Pink Pony Club. What's her name?
I don't love her, but yeah, Chaperone. I don't love her, but go on.
More people would want to see Chaperone than Madonna, but Madonna is a million times bigger than Chaperone, right? Chaperone's just hot right now.
No, she's hot to go.
She's HOTTOGO. So, yeah, I think they're both incredible. And the reason we're bringing this up, by the way, is today's the anniversary of that episode.
Don't ask me why. I saw it on social media, and I just remembered sitting in my grandparents' living room with their big-ass TV set. There was a piece of furniture, and I feel like I always saw that episode of the Globetrotters hanging on Gilligan's Island, and the first airing was on this day in 1981, and it got me thinking, when we were kids, the Globetrotters, between that and Scooby-Doo, they were very mainstream popular, and I feel like the Savannah Bananas right now are having a moment. That's
by the way, hold up. We all remember special Saturday, Sunday afternoons, special broadcasts on the weekends of when the Globetrotters aired. It was like a big deal. Like, oh, the Globetrotters are on TV. I haven't seen that with the Savannah Bananas yet.
Yeah, there's also a point in my life, and I don't want to speak for you guys, but where I thought the Globetrotters would just destroy the Celtics or Lakers.
Yeah.
Like I felt like they were so – I didn't understand the concept of what they were and who they were. But there was no way that Magic Johnson or Larry Bird would be able to. I mean,
in my mind, I was like, Magic Johnson, how about Curly Neal?
That's exactly.
Who we interviewed, honestly. It was an honor.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. But they're on their way, Rich. They're really on their way, and they're selling out, like Danny G said, football stadiums now, which is incredible.
Now, do you think the Savannah Bananas...
It went from these dudes doing choreography on social media to now selling out football stadiums.
The Savannah Bananas... skill level, would you equate it to solid minor league ball players that could do a backflip on a routine fly ball and then catch the ball? Or like, you ever see some of these infielders?
Hold on, though.
They'll hit the ball against the ground, pop it up barehanded. Like, it's a skill, man.
It requires a little more than that. They have to be personable and
have a gimmick, and
they have to be kind of handsome. They're definitely good-looking, cool dudes. My girlfriend let me know about it. She's like, they're kind of hot. So now you're a Bananas fan?
Covino saw his girlfriend's search history, and it was Savannah Bananas OnlyFans.
I don't mean to put you guys on the spot, but I don't know if you know the answer offhand.
Yeah.
Like, how hard do they throw? I mean, like, it can't be 50, but I don't expect it to be.
Are they wearing stilts or not wearing stilts? So I think that should be part of the question here.
You know, Dan, my guess is in the 80s to 90. I don't think this is not a middle infielders pitching the ninth inning in a blowout. I think they're throwing some heat.
But nobody's throwing 98. No. You know, nobody's coming in and blowing the doors off anybody at 102. I don't think that's happening.
Hold on, I'm going to look it up. You ask ChatGPT, Covino. How fast do the Savannah Bananas pitch? I'm sure we'll find out. How fast do the Savannah Bananas pitch a baseball?
And again, this should have been me searching it and saying, guys, do you know that
the Savannah Bananas have pitchers that throw in the high 80s to low 90s typically, with some, for the hell of it, are hitting 99. Like on, but when they're doing like, let me flip the ball in the air, grab it and throw it, they're still throwing high 80s to low 90s, which, as we've talked about, when we were kids, that was heat.
Was that AI? Was that AI on there saying that?
Yeah.
Because AI last week did say a metal band opened for Nate Bargatze in Green Bay. We had that with Iowa Sam, but I don't want to say it's completely trustable. But
be careful with those searches these days.
I believe in robots.
You know what we should do, Rich?
Yeah.
We have a bonus podcast called Overpromise. We should get Jesse Cole, the founder of the Savannah Bananas, on the show. He has a crazy story because he put everything into it.
And he believed in it from day one, which if you have seen clips of him, I would love to chat with him.
I think Fans First Entertainment. We should get him on Overpromise. Yeah,
not a bad idea, buddy boy.
All right.
But I figured I'd just start with that only because as I'm going through our notes for today's show, of course, there's plenty of other fun things to get to, but I just thought Savannah Bananas are doing every day, Danny. You see some special thing like they sold out.
They were in the news this past weekend because of that backflip catch.
Yeah, insane. Yeah, absolutely.
It was awesome.
It's really great. We're happy for them. They're really doing something cool, a modern-day Globetrotters. Even though the Globetrotters still do their thing, They're making baseball fun and exciting for kids. It does open up a new world and possibility for kids.
And isn't the fun of it if a ball goes in the stands?
Yeah, it's an out.
If the fan catches it, it's an out. Like, they have taken fun liberties, which I think is great.
But I have two last points. You brought up the Globetrotters anniversary today. It's kind of odd that Gilligan's Island was still on in 81, because that show started, what, in the late 60s, early 70s? So that was this very special
It might have
moment.
been like a special one-off.
Like a one-off movie episode thing. And did it ever dawn on us that they were all trapped there on the island, yet the Globetrotters were there and left somehow? Did that ever dawn on us at the time?
There was always some, like, odd way how the person got off and they didn't.
Yeah, so stupid.
I don't know.
So dumb. But anyway, props to the Bananas, and maybe we'll get
You know my theory about theory about the professor, right?
I mean, I think
That he was the first closeted gay man on television, because Marianne and Ginger, they talked about how much they loved the professor, and he was still had no interest. He just wanted to fix his coconut radio, and he had his pants and shirt were always so pressed nicely.
Bert and Ernie, were Bert and Ernie around before that?
That's a good point.
I don't know. We got to figure that out.
But I always thought the professor, I'm like, come out, professor. We'll still love you. But
yeah, and he was extra handsome and very, like,
put together.
and
Stranded
groomed,
on an
yeah.
island, and he looked that handsome. Come on.
So